Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. Myself and James Redmond back again for episode 31 of Hot Kopics. My senses tell me this is going to be a good show tonight. I can't lie. So before we get into any of it, press that like button. I know a few of you have already before we even started, so big up for that. James is going to share the stream now so we can get as many viewers on there as we possibly can.
And that's exactly what I was doing.
Love that. I read your mind. And also subscribe to myself and JR if you haven't already. JR's back uploading soon. So, guys, he was
going on, you sexy bastards. How are we?
I'm
in a good mood. Yeah, you know, man. Alexis, really good mood. I'm glad to be doing a bit more of a later show than what we used to.
Yeah, it's nice then because we can take our time. You know, we can be a bit risque, if you were, as opposed to, an 11 o'clock in the morning show. But yeah, look, T-Boys TV is appreciating the OG setup from JR already.
Well, what can I say? Guess what? This has all been boxed away for time, mate. Like, this has been boxed away for a good minute now. So it's nice to have it back. It's nice to be back in business, ready for content galore for the season ahead. And do you know what, mate? I have missed it. I've missed being just on camera and just having a laugh with you and everyone else who was done content with, and that I've needed to take a step back from. But do you know what? Like, I had a proper different attitude to like me taking a break off a couple of months back, but I made up on it now because I think like it's only going to make the content go more forward, better, more pure, more enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to a new season, lads. Hopefully it involves a lot more trophies.
Yes, that's a key that we like here on the Kop TV, trophies. Don't forget, guys, as I said, from next season, James and I are going to be doing Hot Kopics in a studio. Now, if you watch Paddy the Baddies podcast, it's in that studio in Liverpool. Big up to Liverpool Podcast Studios. We're going to be in there from probably July, if I'm honest. We're going to try and film some new intros for the channel, some new outros. Get in there as soon as, because as you know, pre-season is round the corner and transfer season is still amongst us. So without any time wasted, Jay, let's get into Hot Kopics this week. A couple of Hot Kopics for you that I wanted to ask you on, bro, because I haven't spoke to you for a week or so and I've missed you. So I want to get your thoughts on all the following things, right? Start off with Calvin Ramsay. What are your thoughts on that signing? How many games do you think he'll play? Does this mean the end for Nico? Tell me everything about our new 22.
It's a good one. It's a good little signing, I think. And you know what I said to you a couple of weeks ago, that if we're going to sign someone like Calvin Ramsay, he's going to need to be decent on the ball. He's going to need to be decent going forward. And Alex, I'm not going to lie. Call me crazy. I don't watch Aberdeen week in, week out. I don't know about you, but so from what so I can only judge this player from what I've seen, which is cha-ching, cha-ching, YouTube highlights, baby. YouTube highlights all the way to the bank. And you know what, lad? He looks sound. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the next Trent. I'm not even going to sit here and say he's better than Nico, because guess what? I don't know if he is. But is it improving the squad depth? Yes. Is he young? Yes. Does that mean we get excited about another young player for potentially the future? Yes. If he's a Robbo 2.0, does that mean we get to see Trent, Thiago and Fabinho in the middle? Possibly, and I'm very sound with that. And do you know what? With the fact that because I read something and it made me excited. Maybe I'm looking too much into this, but Nico Williams actually might be going out on loan this season yet again, and apparently could still be a part of Liverpool's plans going forward. If so, that's exciting. Because if that likely means we could possibly be thinking about getting Trent in that midfield sooner rather than later.
If you look at it like that, which I guess is definitely not the main way I would look at it, but this is why, again, you know, we make this show together because we look at it different ways. So you think potentially this could mean Trent maybe playing in the middle, but at the same time, I did hear though today that Southampton have at least inquired about Nico, and I think they are holding off for that price. If it was a loan, which meant he still had a future, I'd be cool with that, because I'm not necessarily sitting here saying that I think he should be sold anyway. But yeah, let us know in the comments. I mean, bringing Calvin Ramsay in, I have seen some videos. There was one video floating around yesterday of when he was a kid doing like dribbles around a bin. I don't know if you saw that. But I mean, that was a long time ago. But he was looking decent then. And it's good to see that he can already dribble around Harry Maguire in the form of a bin.
I feel like that's a bit disrespectful towards the bin, but
towards
that's
the
just
bin,
my opinion.
yeah. The bin's got more movement, I would say, back and forth.
Bit more mobility, bit more speed, more agile. But no, do you know what though? Come on, let's not compare the bin to Danny Maguire. It's a bit too offensive, like I said, to the bin. It's one of those things. When you look at the options, I do think Nico Williams probably will end up going at some stage. It might even be this summer, but I wouldn't be against them going out on loan. And if Calvin Ramsay ends up being then boss, because that's another young player that you can add to a very long list.
Yeah, exactly. So how many games do you think he's going to play? I mean, he's been given a decent squad number in 22. So what was that, about 10, 15 in League and Cup?
And he's not going to be what's going to happen unless we move Trent to midfield. But Trent isn't going to get less games. That's the way I'm looking at it. Trent's not going to get less games than what he did last year. Besides the fact we'll be probably not playing as many games because I doubt we'll get to all the finals again. But same as Nico.
Yeah, you never walk alone. 7-3-1 reckons 15 to 20 tops. Rotating to see similar to how Simicast does, and he probably played around 15 games as well.
The backup fullbacks. We've got such good first team fullbacks. Why do we need to be putting anyone in properly? But Calvin Ramsay's came in and said, "Listen, I want to go for the first team role. I'm going to come in pre-season, and I'm going to stamp my mark. And once I do that, I expect to be playing first team football." And listen, I admire the confidence. I do, because you want players to be competing for first team football, because that only makes everyone else better. When Diaz came in, Mane's performances rose. Players in the past that we've brought in, but even recently when we've been clogging up the squad, Jota and Firmino, both of them last season, their performances were up here because they're competing with each other. So, good signing. Not one that's going to get me off my feet and celebrating and saying we're going to win the league, but sound signing. It's one that you're thinking about for the future.
Yeah, definitely one for the future, with a helping hand to play in the present as well. 4.8 mil, I think. That's with add-ons as well. Big up to Techers Dave, who's just said, Hammers, if you see his message, give us a wave. Yeah, definitely one for the future. Again, not one that's going to have me crying from the rooftops with happiness, but that's not anything on him. He's just a young kid. He's had a good run at Aberdeen. He's coming to a massive club. And let's welcome him into the club, and let's hope that he's here for a very long time, and is very successful. That's all we can do. When a new player comes in, there's no agenda with anyone. You all get a clean slate. You all have the opportunity to become legends at the club. When Simicast signed, did he think he'd scored the winning penalty in an FA Cup final? Probably not, but he did. So that goes to show you that even these squad players, they do play a massive role at Liverpool, because 5 subs next season, you can guarantee he's probably going to squeeze out a few more games, considering that rule is in play in the Prem now. And I'm excited to see him. Big up to Calvin Ramsay, new Liverpool number 20.
I was going to mention him about squad depth. Did you see what Minamino said, lad?
I know, it's a bit touchy.
Did you see what he said? Minamino's chatting shit, lads. He doesn't like us. Minamino doesn't give a fuck, lads. Honestly, he's not arsed. He was like, "What do you mean? I'm well better than what you've given me credit for. You've played me in shit games last season." And even though that may be true, it doesn't matter, because that's exactly what Minamino was always going to be for us. So I think it's dead funny that he's given slander to whoever he is giving it towards. But I see Liverpool fans saying like, "Oh, we should have gave Minamino more of a chance." Who's he better than? He's not better than Firmino. He's not better.
He took his
he's
chances,
not better than Origi. What?
He took his chances. He definitely took his chances
when he goals, but he still weren't better than what we had.
No. I'm not saying no. There's no way I'm saying he's better than what we've got. But when he played, he did take his chances. He still scored 10 goals.
It doesn't mean he should be starting.
No, I agree. But I think from his point of view, he probably just wanted a little bit more of a say in those last final months of the season, because he was critical for us in January, Feb, March with those League Cup, FA Cup goals. But I do think maybe he thinks he maybe deserved a couple more games or opportunities.
Yeah.
But listen, it is what it is.
People are asking about what Minamino said. So this was it. It's on Liverpool Goals page. So if you go and follow them, then you can see it. But basically, it says, "Many of the games I played weren't of interest to anyone. Even if I left the result, there wasn't much response. I was thinking that I would leave something behind when I went to the match mentally. I felt motivated by regret and anger every day. I've never had this much time as a player. It was difficult to maintain the condition and connect with my feelings. So essentially, he's saying, I'm not as good as the other attackers. No. Oh, I was dead angry. Minamino was angry, guys. Do you know the same fella who got bodied by a bunch of Aston Villa under-18s? He was very, very angry, so be careful because Storm, Taki, Minamino
I'm
is
sticking up
coming
for
along.
Taki here because
Why?
he's probably going to
He's
leave.
not good enough to be in the first team.
I agreed. He's probably going to leave. Maybe there's a better way to go about it, but listen, he's probably speaking to journalists from Japan, or he might have been misquoted. I don't know, but I would say that again, it's probably time to leave, and maybe don't say stuff like that whilst you're still at the club. But at the same time, I've got a lot of love for Taki, man. I still do.
I do.
You're the one that said Japanese Messi.
I know, because he scored goals, and when people score goals, we go drunk, even though we don't even need any bevies to go drunk, and we say mad things. It's what football is. We get excited. It is what it is. You know, I don't think he's actually Messi.
No, of course.
Because he's not. And have I ever said that I think Taki's good enough for Liverpool? Remember how critical I was of him last season?
No, you did say he wasn't good enough to play in the first team, but he did his job.
And I still stand by that. Because he done his job, and that's the one thing we can give him credit for. Get 15 million for him, let him dusty. Happy days, mate, because that means more game time for the likes of Carvalho and Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, T-Boy saying he likes Minamino, but just don't feel he gets ahead of anyone, unfortunately. Diego needs a new challenge. At the end of the day, he was brilliant for us. Can't be mad for wanting more games. He wasn't better than most players for us. I think he played the games you would expect. Same with
brilliant.
And then Michael, Mercedes, Minamino is not good enough for mighty Liverpool. Bought for 7 mil, says Mohammed. Top scorer in cup comps and did his part and may get sold for 17 mil. Great piece of business.
See, it's good business. It's good business because he came in and he done the job that he was expected to do, but he never done brilliant because doing brilliant exceeds expectations. So when a young Trent Alexander-Arnold moves from midfield to right back and the club see him go into the fucking scouser of the team who goes ahead and wins everything by the age of 23, that's brilliant because that's exceeding expectations. But when you buy Minamino for how much? 7.5 million?
7 mil we bought him for,
7 mil. But at the time was supposed to be a significant signing that was supposed to add to the squad.
January 2020 it was, wasn't it?
What?
January 2020 it was when he come in.
Yeah.
Just before COVID. Yeah.
Exactly. So we signed him. We expected him to give us that little bit of extra oomph. Did he? Not really straight away and not really last season. Did he do his job this season as a squad player? Yes, but he was supposed to be more than a squad player. He was supposed to be that, who can I think of? Adam Lallana, you know, someone who plays a little bit more regularly than what Minamino ended up playing. Not stylistically or anything like that, but that type of role. So that's what Minamino was supposed to be, and you could say he never really lived up to that. But he was a good squad player for this season, so it was all right.
And listen, he's going to leave with the Premier League medal, an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup.
I forget that he has that.
Could have won two Prems, but listen, it is what it is. 3 trophies in 2.5 years. You can't grumble at that. He'll get his move. Right, I wanted to touch on the whole Núñez versus Darwin question, really, because everyone's been talking about it. Do you think that's the comparison to make this season? Because if you look at the big strikers, I mean, Lukaku's going back to Inter. Do you think the hype around the Darwin versus Haaland thing is justified? Do you think that's the main comparison everyone should be making?
No.
What is it then?
There is levels.
I knew you'd say no.
You should be doing Haaland and Kane, for instance. You should be doing Haaland and Son. You should be doing Salah and Son and all them type of conversations. Darwin Núñez is not in that conversation. He's not.
Interesting.
He's had one good season in Portugal. I think he can do decent. People are going to be like, no, James is hating on Darwin Núñez. Listen, Darwin is my Uruguayan Scouser, lad. My Uruguayan Scouser. But do I think he's worth 65 mil? I don't. Am I happier that it's 65 mil? Yes. But do I also think he's going to score more than Haaland? No. Haaland is literally like one of the most craziest breakout stars that I've ever seen. Like, he's insane. Have you seen the way the kid hits a footy? Have you seen the way the kid hits a footy? It's a joke. Imagine getting kicked in the head with that. It'd be ridiculous. So I'm not being funny or anything, right? I think the comparisons are a bit extreme. I can understand it because they're two big signings and it's flashy and they've both got decent hair and they're both, sound looking lads. But otherwise, in terms of levels, come on. A year ago, if I mentioned to you want Haaland or Darwin Núñez, people would go, wait there, Darwin who? And
Yeah.
best believe they would, because not many people knew who Darwin Núñez was last season before he played
Yeah.
us.
Well, listen, they're two number 9s, which are kind of out of fashion, but they're obviously coming back into fashion this season
But
in
they
the
shouldn't be
Prem. I've
getting
got some
compared.
stats here,
Do you
though,
think they
right?
should?
I think only it's because Liverpool and City have made a big signing that can play through the middle that they are getting compared. And if you
But
look
in
at these,
terms of
this
the
is,
quality,
in terms of the quality, I'd agree. I think it's slightly premature, which is mad considering how young Haaland is, that we're even saying that that's premature because he's so
because
young
he's
still.
that good.
And he is that good. But hang on, let's look at this, right? Because this is the league. Yes, Haaland was injured. Yes, Núñez had periods out injured, but they both played over 20 games, 22 for Haaland, 26 for Núñez. 22 goals for Haaland in around 2,000 minutes. They played very similar amount of time, actually, last season. Maybe a couple of, what's the difference there? About 70 minutes difference, right? And in them 70 minutes difference, Núñez scores 4 more goals than Haaland. Is that anything to look at? You see the assist there as well. That's 30 odd assists and goals in a league season, which is very 29 there as well if you add them both up. But the conversion rate is interesting as well. Núñez just pips in there. So every 3 shots, for example, Núñez is going to score, and he has 3 shots, 3.85 shots per game. So really and truly, 3 shots a game and your conversion rate is around 30%. He should be scoring every game, according to this, Jay.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know. I just think Haaland brings like a better all-round game. You know what I mean? His link-up plays better than Darwin Núñez. His hold-up plays better than Darwin Núñez. And Haaland isn't even that great for hold-up play for a big fella. He's not really known for that. So I do expect him to score more goals than Darwin. I do think Darwin will come in and score. It's just it's a confusing one. I don't know if he's going to be as good as what I think he's going to end up being. You know what I mean? Or what everyone thinks he's going to be, or the price tag and what it lives up to. In my opinion, I don't know if he lives up to it, but I'm intrigued. It's one of those, I'm so on the fence with Darwin. I'm trying to get over it and support it and back the thing, but lad, at the moment I am struggling.
What's stopping you though? What's stopping you from getting involved in the Darwin train?
It's just him. It's his ability. It's one good season. It's I don't know. There's a lot of things that are questionable.
You're not supporting him. You're just being cautious because we've all been there before where we get carried away. But yeah, we need to see it, don't we?
Is he the man? Does Haaland take Man City from champions to champions? Yeah. Possibly. And does he significantly increase their chances of winning the Champions League? Well, if you look at his Champions League record at the age he is, then the only answer I can give you is absolutely he does. He absolutely does. Darwin Núñez, does he take us? Hear me out. Does he take us from 1 point off the Premier League and 1 goal away from the Champions League to winning those competitions? I don't know if he does, but I understand, but on the other hand, what you can say to combat what I've just said, he's young. He might be able to not do that right now, but in about 2 or 3 seasons, he might be able to change that from 92 points to 95, or change that Champions League final from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. He might be that difference. So again, I could be wrong. It's really about longevity. I'm just thinking a lot in a sense of short term, we need trophies now, because I think we do. Maybe Jürgen disagrees. Maybe Jürgen thinks we've won everything. Just because we don't have a volume of it, we've still exceeded what we've achieved at this club. And I could just be getting too greedy. But I think if you ask any Liverpool fan going into the season what the expectation is, it's to win the league. If you ask them about the Champions League, it's probably to compete for the Champions League. But I think now more than ever, we're going to want to win that league title. So I don't know if now Darwin Núñez is the one who wins us that league title right now. But in a couple of seasons, of course, you never know.
Big up to everyone sending in comments. We haven't got time to read every single one out, but if you do, and you can, and you're able to send in a super chat, trust me, it's massively appreciated, and it goes straight back into the channel for paying for the studio, etc., etc. So if you can do, if you can't, no worries. Thank you for the comments anyway. Jay, another hot topic for you, and that is the unfortunate, and I say unfortunate because it's not been resolved yet, is the unfortunate situation surrounding Mo Salah's contract. I mean, we've probably been negotiating with his agent now, I would say, for at least a year, if not 18 months. You know, we've been speaking about this for ages. There's been rumours, there's been closely agreed, there's been, oh, we're still miles off. I mean, the time's ticking now, bro. He's probably got, I would say, just over a year left. It's probably July the 1st, 2023. At what stage do you either go, right, do you admit that, right, we're going to sell him for free next year? Or do you do everything you can to get him a new contract? Because that's what I think we should do. What do you think?
You think we should give him everything?
I think we go in
Define
and give him
everything.
a contract. Okay, so
Define everything.
Give him 400 for 3 more years a week, if that's what he wants.
I'd say 300. I'd say 300. And
because I think he's on
if
about
he doesn't accept
180
that,
now.
It doesn't. Honestly, it really isn't as big of a deal as people think if we let Salah go for free. It's not great, it's not ideal, but it's not as big of a deal. We're still going to have assets coming throughout the academy and coming throughout the club, and the young players that we're buying and the squad players that we're buying, they're going to be able to fill that void of 50, 60, 70 mil, which is probably what we were going to get for Mo Salah, even if he had 2 years left on his deal, really, just because of his age. Just because of his age, yeah. No, like 70 mil, like 70, 80 mil. We're not going to get over 100 for him. A couple of years ago, yeah. Right now, probably not. So when you're looking at it from a realistic standpoint, I mean, look at Mane, for instance. He still has a year left and we're only getting 40. And there's not much difference between Mane and Salah, whether you like it or you don't. I feel that way. You can talk about just numbers, but if you talk about impact, there's a very similar impact that they both have on the team. Salah is not bigger than Liverpool, bro. I would not pay him 400 grand a week. Not a chance. Not because he doesn't deserve it, but because no one else is getting that. Verge is just as deserving as Salah. Alisson is just as deserving as Salah. But they're not getting in. They've just signed new deals. So guess what, bro? What I prefer... The options is go out and do what you've been doing and keep recruiting well. Replace Salah. Salah's replaceable.
When?
Next season, when his contract runs out.
Defo letting him for free. So you're basically saying goes for free next season and we
No, not really. I'm saying take 300 grand or leave it, son.
And if he leaves it, son, he's gone for free next year.
Leave, son. You know what I mean? Like, go on, see it in a bit. Go and buy humans, son. And then there you go. You've sorted that issue.
Yeah, true. But if you say that and then he says, oh, well, I don't really want to stay, but I want someone who wants that. And then if they do want to leave, you might as well try and get the most money for them now, no? If you understand that they don't really want to stay. And obviously, as fans, we don't want players there that don't want to be there.
We don't want to sell Salah, though. We're saying to Salah, we just don't want to pay you this amount of dough. We want to keep you. And rightly so, they want to keep him. This is what I think a lot of people are misunderstanding. And you know I'm not FSG's numero uno fan. But what I will say about them is they are saying to Salah, we want to keep you. And I'm pretty sure they're going to say, we'll give you 300 grand, but that's all we can give you. We can't give you any more. If they're offering them any lower, then that's just stupid from FSG's part.
Yeah.
But they do want to keep Mo Salah.
Don't be 3 to 400. I think that's where we're battling at the minute.
It's the number one Muslim athlete in the world. There's no one who's been replicating the Salah numbers besides Lewandowski over a consistent basis of the last 5 years. Really. Messi, of course, as well. Ronaldo at times too. But to the standard that Salah's been setting them.
Defo top 5 in the last 5 years, without question.
Defo top 5. And he's a legend of this football club. And what he's achieved is honestly like insane. But he needs to know the club that he's at as well. I wish we could go out and spend 300, 400 grand a week on players. But it's weird to do it with one player when you're not going to do it for the Van Dijks of this world, the Alissons. Makes sense? Like De Gea at United, for instance, he's on 300 grand a week. He's on 300. Out of anyone in that United team, he's probably the one that deserves it most. You could argue Ronaldo as well, but De Gea's been there for a long period of time. He's really been gritty over the years that United have been shit. Ronaldo's been there for 1 season. So out of anyone, De Gea definitely deserves that 300 grand a week. But he's been on that. Salah hasn't been on that. He wants that now when he's obviously not going to be as good or probably not going to be as good over the next 2 or 3 seasons as what he has been. So, but this narrative will change if he goes and scores 30 goals before January, which he was dead close to
And
doing
then
this
if he does
season.
that, then surely the contract, the talks
If he
change
does
a little
that,
bit. The ball's more
if
in
he
his
does
court.
that, and he's looking alien-like, then maybe you have to. But you can't be giving him 400 bags off what you've been seeing.
Okay. And that's from what?
And
Now
I'm one of the biggest
the
haters of
AFCON.
people who forget about what Salah was doing before January, by the way, because what he was doing before January was genuinely best player in the world stuff.
Yeah.
The goal against Watford, the goal against Man City, bro, that was insane. And just winning us games. Like, people say he's not a big game player, but he scored goals against Chelsea, City, Man
Hat-trick at
United,
Old
like
Trafford.
all these big teams that, even though like this season Man United weren't good, it's still a huge achievement to get a hat-trick at Old Trafford. Otherwise, you would have seen loads of people do it this season. You know what I mean? So, I'm not hating on Mo Salah. I'm not saying I want him to go. But 400 grand a week, mate, just doesn't seem like the club style.
And that's why the club are deliberating over it, because it traditionally isn't the club style. This isn't a position that we find ourselves in, being kind of cornered to say, well, listen, unless you give us 400, we're moving. And time is ticking. You know, I hate to say it, but as the time goes on, for me, it's less and less likely that he's going to sign a contract now, just because of how long it's already taken. Yes, we know he's not leaving this year, but if we go into next alien like, then you have to get it sorted, because what you don't want to do is, we're a week before his contract finishes this time next year, and we're thinking, hang on, he's not going to sign here, he's about to go for free. I think that would be the worst situation for us to be in, to let him have to go for free after everything he's done. Yes, we would have got his peak out of him, and yes, I do believe that maybe next year, if there is a replacement on our list that we can replace him. But it's going to be difficult. The numbers he's put on the board are alien, really. And it's
we need to start thinking about the next phase anyway. Luckily, the one thing we've got, which I feel like people are underestimating, is the spine. Like Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, and then whoever you want down the middle. Let's just hope Darwin Núñez works, otherwise we're probably fucked. We've got Thiago solidified the next few years. The wingers, very important. And weirdly enough, the most important part of our team over the past few years when it comes to our offence. But it all starts through that spine, broski. And at the end of the day, them numbers will come when you've got that spine. Yeah. It just probably will. It might not be to the level that Salah was getting, but guess what? Do you know, if somehow next season FSG surprise me and get a Jude Bellingham, that's more goals from a midfielder. Guess what? If Darwin Núñez ends up living up to the potential that at the moment a lot of people, not including my own, thinks he can get to, that means he's going to be getting 20 to 30 goals a season. Are you a believer that Luis Diaz is going to improve numbers? Because I am. I'm still a bit sceptical. Can he get the numbers of Mane and Salah? But if he even gets 15 goals a season, then there we go. That's sorted there. Diogo Jota, a man who's proven he can get double-digit goals. I think both seasons he's been at us. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the first season, but definitely last year.
21 goals in all comps last year for Jota.
There we go. Firmino, another 11, really solid player, always. Yeah, even last season got 16 goals. We're fine, bro. Even if Mane and Salah go, we're fine. We've got Jurgen Klopp. That was the most important signing that we had to make last season. Anyone else who goes now, I feel like the only one that I'd be shitting myself of, because this is the only player I think is irreplaceable, is Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Van Dijk is the only one in that squad that I think we can't get another version of you. No, of course he's not. He's just signed a new deal, like literally last summer. But you're the one who we can't get another version of. Mm-hmm. We can't. Like, you're the difference of us being a challenging for Premier League and challenging for top four. You're that difference.
Yeah.
He's insane.
Listen, you're right. Let us know in the comments. James, is he spitting facts? T-Boys TV says, James talking facts again. Klopp is the man. Peace from the pool people. Says, there's the Kop. Big up to you. MK saying Salah should compare his wages with Virgil, Ali, Hendo, and not with KDB or Mbappe.
Defo,
I mean, if he is doing that, then
because what Salah is doing wrong. What Salah is doing wrong is not realising circumstances.
Is it Salah or his agent?
It's both. The agent has the best interest of the client at hand, brother. That is the way that this works. This isn't Mo Salah saying, "Oh no, please don't be horrible to them, agent. Please don't be horrible to them." He's not saying that, is he? He's saying to him, "Oh, go on then. So that's how we get more money. Go on, I'll agree with you then. I think that's not too far." And by the way, Salah isn't wrong for wanting more money. The same way that Mane isn't wrong for wanting more money. I actually love the way Mane wants to leave and get more money because he's never going to get 400 grand a week here. He'll get closer to that at Bayern. But now he can go and do more for his country because that's what he reinvests most of his money into. Is helping helping his local people and stuff like that.
He's doing such an incredible job, with that stuff.
Yeah, mate. There was not a better player.
Pays each family like a certain amount a month.
Bro, I'm so happy he was the one player that I backed more than anyone. Honestly, I think he's our best player under Klopp's time. Like, my opinion, he's my best. He's my favourite player under Klopp's time. I think he's more well-rounded than the likes of Salah, for instance. I think he's probably had more outperforming seasons, not numbers-wise, but in terms of actual week in, week out. I feel like the only seasons you could say Salah is the last two. And even last season, the one just gone, I'd probably edge Mane in the end. So
interesting.
Defo won the AFCON, had a bigger impact in stuff like the knockout stages of the Champions League, the real big games of the season. Mane was the one that turned up, and I think he's a hero for that. Salah is definitely in a similar category. For me, he's probably just one below Mane because Mane's in a category of his own. But Van Dijk, Salah, Alisson, they're all in their own category as well. But if Salah goes, I'd be upset to see other players leave over Salah. That's what I will say.
Interesting. Listen, as Michael says here, it wasn't Salah before Klopp. It was Klopp made Salah, especially at Liverpool. And if you've got Klopp signed up for 4 more years, that's the most important contract.
This is why I'm not going to sit here and absolutely cry about Darwin Núñez, because if Jurgen Klopp wants him, then that means he knows how to get a tune out of him, and Jurgen Klopp getting a tune out of a player who's just got 34 goals, don't mind if I do, because that probably means he's going to do well. We've got to realise the manager that we've got, Alex. Honestly, he's the best manager in the world. I was thinking about it the past few days. I've been hesitant to call him the best manager in the world recently.
I think
at least publicly. Just publicly, just because he hasn't got the numbers of Pep and he hasn't got the number of Sir Alex and stuff. But when you really break it down, he's the best manager in the world, bro. And this will probably be something that goes on TikTok and I'm getting loads of shit. Bro, water off a duck's back. I'm here on the firing line, back on my manager saying he's the best.
Well, I'm backing you to the hills as well, because...
Make sure you include this bit in the TikTok. You're getting the shit as well.
But I think, and I hate to say it again, but net spend, Pep has spent ×4 more than Klopp each transfer window, which should mean that he's 4 times more successful. So it's all relative. Look at what Klopp's done with the budget available. We haven't been known to splash the cash. And if we do splash the cash, we more than make it back. People are trying to say, look at Liverpool spending 85 on Darwin.
We
can't have too much of a go. We can't have too much of a go at Chelsea for Lukaku, because they made all that money to buy Lukaku. So it's all about the money that you make. And this season, I think we've already just about made up that money, and we're going to touch on what else we can sell to make more money. But I agree with you, bro. I do think Klopp's the best manager. I'm talking manager, not trophies, stats. Who would you, as a football
not
player,
trophies, not stats, not just Klopp, coach. Everything that quantifies a manager.
It would be Klopp. And this is someone
everything that quantifies a manager.
That's got deep tactical analysis, but he knows how to make you happy and smile. He gives you a hug. And I'm not saying hugs make you a successful manager, but if you're asking me, obviously, listen, we're a Liverpool fan channel. We're going to be biased. Of course we are. If you ask Big Steve or Lewis, they're going to say Pep, obviously. But this is our opinion. And we think, from what we've seen, that is the one, bro. Klopp's the best manager in the world.
And do you know that's me being biased?
I apologise.
Nah, yeah, your Wi-Fi went bum for a second, but it's all right though. You got your point out. Honestly, I'm not even going to sit back on it no more. He's the best in the world, lads, and he's proven it. He's going to continue to prove it. He's my fucking manager. No one else would have got top 4. Fucking hell. Look at Man United, Tottenham, and Arsenal, how much they were all struggling last season for top 4. Bloody hell, none of them wanted it off each other. Whereas us, with all the injuries that we had to suffer, we still got top 3. That was insane.
Yeah.
That was actually mad. And like this season to go to all the finals. And this is the last point I'm going to make because people are probably sick of me waxing lyrical about Jurgen Klopp. What I'm going to say is, when you think of the top managers of the Premier League era, so the Jose Mourinho's, the Arsene Wenger's, the Sir Alex Ferguson's, the fucking... Even if you want to... Pep Guardiola, of course. And then even if you want to squeeze in a little mighty Thomas Tuchel. One thing that Klopp has got all over all of those managers, besides Sir Alex, who had 20 years on Jurgen, is that Jurgen has won every single trophy. Arsene Wenger can't say that. And I think Arsene Wenger is very underrated as a manager because you talk about money. You talk about money. He had no money, mate, and he kept Arsenal a top team in England. That's brilliant. But he never won everything. Jose Mourinho never won everything. Did he? He never won a Champions League with Chelsea. Did he?
No.
So that's the point that I'm trying to make. Sorry. Pep's won everything. Jose's won everything. But with a Premier League team, did they win everything? Nah. Did Arsene Wenger? No. Did Thomas Tuchel? Not yet. He could because he's already got a Champions League to his name. But the only ones to do it is Sir Alex and Jurgen. If anyone said to me that Jurgen was going to be... How brilliant is that? That is huge. But people will say, James, you're reaching. Oh, what a quadruple. I'll take it all day.
It's facts, though, bro. It's facts. What you're saying is true. If you can't understand or accept what James has just said, then you've clearly got an agenda against Klopp and Liverpool. He is the man to have won it all. He could have done it sooner. I mean, I would take Klopp over Pep every day. But I guess it comes down to what you like, what kind of football you want to see. People are going to say that the way Pep plays is magical. And it is. Looking at it sometimes, it really is. But it's no surprise when you have that much money at your dispense. So that's why I'm going for Klopp. Let us know in the comments what you... the best reason there you could actually have when it... Talking about any more names coming in. So on the table already, you've got Carvalho in, Nunes or Darwin. I think we should start calling him Darwin because he's not going to have Nunes on his shirt. It's going to be Darwin.
We're not talking about Carvalho enough, you know.
That's it. I'm excited, bro. I mean,
we're not talking about him enough. He's
excited.
The one that I'm most excited about making.
I want him to I want him to tell everyone, I'm the man. You should be talking about me. Forget all these new guys coming in. I'm the man. I'm the number 10
like
that you're going to put in camp.
He's a proper silky boss little player, lad. Like, I can't wait to see him have a little go in the team and see what he can go and do. Yeah, definitely.
So they're the three names that are in. Can you see any more players coming in before we talk about the ones that are probably still going to go out? I mean, I personally can't. If there was some mad way, like how Thiago happened a couple of years ago, where out of the blue we just get him, I can't see anything else happening, especially when it comes to midfielders. I think if we are going to buy one more, it has to be a midfielder. But I can't see it happening. Still till September that the window is open till, Jay. Can you see anyone coming in, / a midfielder, attacker, or no one?
Not a midfielder. Bloody hell, we've got that desperate for a midfielder. We linked with Gini Wijnaldum today. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Gini Wijnaldum linked for maybe Asensio linked as well. What do you make about Jay Spearing coming back to play for the Rezzies?
I love it.
A 33-year-old playing in the under-23s. Like, when I heard we were linked to Jay Spearing, I was thinking, fuck me, we must be desperate here. Jesus.
I fucking love it, lads. Get Jay Spearing on in the fucking 90th minute of the Champions League final next season in Istanbul, guys. Fucking get it done. Get it done, mate. Because that means, you know, if he's in the under-23s, that actually means we could, like, boost him to the first team. He's, like, actually a licensed Liverpool player.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? He could play in the first team.
He'll be wearing Liverpool tracksuits at the age of 33 and 5'6".
Oh my God.
This is a small man, you know.
And he'll still come on and score the winner against Manchester United at Old Trafford.
Can you imagine this? Oh, bro, if that happened,
to
just throw away every football script that's ever been written.
And then just goes over to Eric Ten Hag and Eric Ten Hag and just says, my ball's better than yours.
No, he just goes up to him and pantses him like that.
Oh, mate. Jay Spearing, do it for me, baby.
Jay Spearing. So listen, he's in the under 23s, but are there anyone else coming into the club?
Nah, I feel like we've made the dream signing. I feel like Jay Spearing's the one who takes us forward. Well, that's the signing we're not talking about enough. He's the difference. Jay Spearing is not only a hero, he's not only a beast, he's not only a specimen, he's not only good looking, he's not only sensational, he's not only fucking beautiful. He doesn't just fly like a butterfly, and he certainly doesn't just sting like a bee. What he does is absolutely annihilate teams, more specifically under 23s, on a week-to-week basis. A Liverpool Tranmere and Blackpool legend. Fuck me. Right, let's now move on. What did you say?
Will the other teams be fearing Jay Spearing?
Jay Spearing, defo.
Find out next season.
Season.
Jay clearly thinks that no one else is coming in. I don't either.
We've got Jay Spearing. We don't need anyone else.
For God's sake, stop it. That's the title of this video. I'm changing it. We've got Spearing. Close the door. We don't need anyone else. Don't know where James has gone there, unfortunately, in the height of this amazing banter. Not too sure where he's gone. But are you fearing Jay Spearing? Let us know in the comments. Not too sure. I'm going to kick James out and hopefully he comes back in again. But listen, there was loads of talks, wasn't there, about Rafinha? There was talks about Asensio just recently. But Jared Bowen is linked. And Harry says with Bowen or Rafinha to challenge Salah, and they are also versatile to play in the other attacking positions as well, which you have to agree with, if you're honest. I mean, they can play across the front line. Cross-court tennis, nice name. Not sure Jay Spearing wants that on his resume. Absolutely destroys under 23s. Yeah, not the best thing to have, to be honest. And Gary Morgan reckons no more ins and no more outs, which is more surprising for me, to be honest, because there is going to be more outs, Gary, for sure. And when James comes back, we'll discuss them there. And we'll see how much money that we can actually raise for all of those. Rafinha to Arsenal, I've heard. Now, listen, if Arsenal go out and buy Jesus and Rafinha, that is quite something. I can't lie. I'd be nervous to see that.
My laptop's taking the piss to turn back on, so I'm coming on this. Can you hear me okay?
Beautifully. Don't worry, mate. Listen, got one more question for you. There was a comment here that's saying Gary reckons there's no more ins and no more outs, which I actually thought was surprising. Talk to me about the names that are still going to leave and how much we can raise for them from those names.
So who we're going to bring in and who we're going to sell?
No, we're not bringing anyone else in from what we know, and obviously if we do, we'll be the first to tell you.
So who we're selling?
In terms of so how much, who and how much for selling?
Oxlade-Chamberlain, 15 million. That's too much. 10 million.
17.5.
15.
Go on, we'll go 15. That's 15 mil, one player.
Minamino, 17.
That's 32.
Is Origi free?
Yeah.
Is Origi free?
I think he went for free, bro. No, was it 10 mil?
Free, lads! Oh,
hang on.
AC Milan have just done the greatest piece of business of all time.
They've done a Liverpool on us. They've Michael Edwards done.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hang on. Did Origi leave for free? If so, then yeah.
Well, we already know Mane's gone for 40 as well, by the way. Nico was rumored to be going for 15.
The 75 plus the 15, 90 with Nico for 15. So that's 90. Is there anyone
Nat
else?
Phillips has been questioned to stay now.
Nat Phillips.
So he's probably not going to go.
Let's say we could get 15 for him. Let's say that's 105.
He should be 20.
That is very good recruitment.
Swear to God, he should be 20 million. We need to go back to the days where we were selling Benteke for 30 million and all that, because Nat Phillips is at minimum 20 million pounds. Nico Williams the same. I'd even put Taki at 20 with what he's done and what today's game is based off. I think Taki could be 20 as well.
Look at this from Haris. Joe Gomez impossible because he's about to sign a new contract. Nico 20, Ox 15, that's 35 plus 17, let's say 52.
Keita won't go.
No, there's no way.
Keita won't go.
But if you're looking at our midfield options for next season in the middle, Thiago Fabinho Henderson, Milner, Harvey Elliott, Fabio Carvalho, Jones, Keita, Oxlade. Are you happy?
Wait, yeah, sounds. It's not as good as what this season's was, actually, is it? Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Yeah, it's all right.
But to not have added to it though. Well, this is the thing. This is one thing that Curtis could do. He could play a lot more games. Do you think Klopp has maybe had a word with him and said, "Look, I know everyone wants me to go out and buy a midfielder, but I'm trusting you to maybe play 10 more games than you did last year, 20 to 30.
Do you know what it
is he ready?
Do you know what it is? I haven't seen enough from Curtis recently to say he's going to be able to push on. Because let's be honest, do you know that season that you're talking about? Like, this is the season that Curtis needs to push on. Where that's supposed to be last season and the season before when we had a shit ton of injuries, so therefore he actually had a chance to play. Isn't that when a player's supposed to take their opportunity? Kind of like Rashford at Manchester United and Mbappe and all these players who have broken into the teams. Don't you think that was the time? Because
but maybe this is the real time.
That's like do you know, like an alcoholic? They say, no, this time I'm defo quitting, and then a few weeks later you see Al Barry in the fucking pub, in the fucking Al Merchants going down with a Stella, you know what I mean? Just pinting them down, and you're just like, for fuck's sake, Gary, fucking hell, not again, Gary.
Barry or Gary? Who's in the pub here? Gary
and Barry, the twins, they're both fucking off their heads, Alex.
So Gary Morgan in the comments here is in the pub with someone called Barry, and they're twins.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Big up to the Barrys. I doubt there'll be many more Barrys about, in the 2022. I can't imagine many parents calling their son Barry anymore.
Yeah, they're going extinct, lads. They're going extinct like the dinosaurs.
And like Keiths. There's no Keiths around these days.
Do you know what? We need to think about that, Alex. We're going to call our kids Barry and Keith just because.
Not too sure.
Just because we need to keep it alive, mate.
Nah, they can die, them names. With all due respect. With all due respect to all the Barrys and all the Keiths.
Barry Gilday Trot. Don't mind
BGT, you're mad.
BGT and AGT.
America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent.
Lad, Simon Carlos.
Man like Barry. Yeah, basically. Man like Harry. Anyway, this is besides the point, this baby chat. Because that's a long way to go.
I think it is the point. I don't think it's beside the point.
I think that's how we finish the show. Talking about baby names. I think that is what's happening here.
Well, on a note, on the Barry note.
Yeah.
I've got no notes.
No, just Barry's. Yeah.
Just Barry.
Make a note for Barry. But there you go.
Maybe we should sign Barry. Maybe we should sign Barry. No. Just Barry. Just Barry alone. He hasn't even got a second name.
There must be a Brazilian. There'll be a Brazilian called Barry.
No, he's not Brazilian.
No, because you get the Freds. You get the Freds in Brazil. Well, if he's from Grimsby, then his time's probably past. He'll be too old.
But this is what I'll say.
Brazil.
Do you know, like McLovin off that film where his name's just McLovin? This is what Barry is. He's just Barry. There's no Barry something else. There's no Sir Barry, Sir Alex Barry, just Barry. So
Gareth Barry?
In conclusion, not even Gareth. Nah, Barry from Grimsby is well better than Gareth Barry. What?
Is that Gareth Barry's little brother? Because Gareth Barry.
Oh my God, Gary Barry. Gary Barry. That's who we were talking about this whole time. Is Gareth Barry. So Gareth Barry, sign him up for the under-20. No, get on this. Sign him up for the under-23s and get the Maestro partnership that we remember when we nearly signed Gareth Barry. Remember?
We did. 2008. Yeah.
Remember? We
Gary Barlow.
Midfield. Just think about this. If you haven't had a wet dream before, just think about this and you'll finally.
Where are we going with this? This is mad.
Gareth Barry, Steven Gerrard, and Jay Spearing as a midfield three.
In which year was this?
It would have been if Gareth Barry joined in 2008 and stayed. Gerrard would have been there, and then 2010 when Jay Spearing joined. Boom.
Right. Glad we never saw it, if I'm honest.
I wish we did. It couldn't have got any worse. Let's be honest. What's that funny is Gareth Barry would have made us better that season that we had Jay Spearing.
Yeah, probably would have actually. He was at City winning the league at that point, so brilliant.
He fully was up as well.
Cross-court tennis, James. Are we going to see some more on the
Redmond roundups.
Mate.
Yeah, defo. Everything that you saw before, but a little bit different with some things. If the Redmond roundup will always stay, mate. Don't ever worry about losing that. That's a classic. I'm also thinking about like heavily contemplating keeping that intro forever. Even when like I've got a studio and high production, just keep that intro just for legendary fans.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, keep it.
Right, so listen. James and I are going to be back reunited together next week in Liverpool. We'll have Ruby there. We'll do a hot Kopics from the new studio.
Can we get Jay Speeden on the show?
Well, listen, he's a Liverpool player. I'll reach out. I'll send a message. I mean, I have called him a small man. So, you know.
That's all right.
But we have spoke about him glowingly, to be fair.
No, he is. He's small, and that's fine because you're big.
Yeah, exactly. Evens it out. Also, if you are living in Liverpool, I'm 60 for Lower Breck FC. Jay's going to be there. Ruby's going to be there. Doyle's going to be there watching. Jack, the cameraman's going to be vlogging
because
it as well.
Because the connection cut out, I didn't even know where we're going to be, but I'm going to be there.
Lower Breck FC, July the 16th, Owen McVeigh charity game. I'm playing. James is there watching. We've got Ruby there. We've got Doyle. Jack, the cameraman, is doing a vlog, so James can probably be talking about my lack of football skills whilst he's on the sidelines. That would make for good content. Can be shouting at the ref and all sorts. So yeah, looking forward to that. If you are in Liverpool, make sure you come down to it at Lower Breck Football Club. What else have we got, Jay, coming up? You've got some really exciting news that you'll announce when the time's right, I guess, about a nice big channel that you're working with next year, which I'm very excited for you about, my friend. But yeah, from the Kop TV, loads of shit to come from myself, Jay, Ruby, Doyle. And yeah, the new season is nearly upon us, so we'll continue doing what we're doing. You continue watching the videos, please. Please set those notifications on. Alex is massive everywhere he goes. Yeah, exactly. Ask my missus.
All right.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. All right, Jay, thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you,
have a great week, and I will see you next time for Hot Kopics. And
thank you.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All the best.
Peace.
Whoa. Just before you go,
don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football.